All my life, it was just me and my mother. My father left when I was a small baby. He never called, he never sent money, he never visited. My mother worked so hard to feed me, pay my school fees, and take care of me. One day, when I was 25 years old, my mother called me. Her voice was serious. She said, "Your father is here. He is sitting in my living room." My heart started beating fast. I didn't know what to feel. I rushed to a house after work. When I entered, I saw a man I only knew from one old faded photograph. He looked older and tired. He stood up when he saw me. He started crying. He said, "My daughter, I am so sorry. I was a foolish man. Please forgive me." My mother was standing in the corner, her arms folded. Her face was like stone. She did not look happy at all. Later, when my father left, she sat me down. She said, "Listen to me. That man is bad news. He has not changed. He only brings problems. Stay away from him." I understood her anger. But when I looked at my father, he looked so regretful, so sorry. He kept sending me messages, telling me he wanted to make up for lost time. Against my mother's strong wishes, I decided to forgive him. But I was not foolish. I decided to keep him at a distance. I would meet him sometimes, but I did not introduce him to my friends or my boyfriend. I didn't know that by letting him into my life just a little, I was opening my door to danger and terrible trouble. At that time, my life was perfect. I had a good job in a nice office. I had a wonderful boyfriend called Kay. He was so kind and caring. His mother loved me like her own daughter. I was very happy. Then one afternoon, my father called me. He sounded very excited. He said, "I have a gift for you. Something to show you how much I love you." I agreed to meet him at a bar. When I arrived, he was smiling. He brought out a small black box. Inside was the most beautiful gold chain necklace I had ever seen. It was shiny and looked expensive. My first thought was that it was a good fake gold, because where would he get money to buy a gold chain like that? But I appreciated the gesture. I said, "Thank you, Daddy. It is beautiful." Then he said, "This is pure gold." I was shocked. I didn't believe him. He then stood up and put the necklace around my neck. He held my shoulders and looked into my eyes. He said, "Promise me you will never take it off. Let it be a sign of my love for you." I was touched. I promised I would not take it off. I wore the necklace home, feeling happy. That decision was the beginning of the end of my peaceful life. Strange things started to happen, and I almost lost my life. A few days after I got the necklace, I was in town at East Legon. I saw a big jewelry shop and I decided to go in, just to check if the necklace was real. I wanted to know if my father was telling the truth. I walked in and asked the man to check the necklace for me. He looked at it and then he used the small machine on it. His eyes went wide. He said, "Madam, this is pure gold. This is a very expensive piece." My mouth fell open. I asked him, "How much is it?" He said, "This kind of necklace, it can cost more than 20,000 cedis. I almost fainted. 20,000 cedis? Where did my father, a man who had no job, get such money? I called my mother immediately and told her. She was very skeptical. She said, "Where did he get that kind of money? Something is not right." But I was so happy to listen. I thought maybe he had saved his money or won a lottery. I decided I would wear it on my neck always. At that time, I had moved into a new apartment. It was a nice self-contained room in a new building. I was still buying furniture and decorating. I was excited to start my new life day. Little did I know the necklace had brought a new unwanted tenant with me. That same night, I went to bed in my new apartment, still wearing the necklace. I fell asleep quickly, but in the middle of the night, I woke up suddenly. I felt a very heavy weight on my chest, like someone was pressing me down into the mattress. I couldn't move or scream. Then I saw her. In the corner of my room, a woman was standing. She was wearing a long white dress. Her face was not clear, but I could feel her staring at me. My blood ran cold. I finally found my voice and screamed. Welcome back to my channel, babe. How are you doing today? I hope you are having an amazing day. If you are new here, I'm Vera, but you can call me V. And I share real life stories that will shock you, inspire you, break your heart, and sometimes make you laugh. So if this is something you love, please subscribe and like this video. And don't forget to turn on the notifications so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Today's shout out goes to Elizabeth in Cancer, Joyce Bennett 652, and December Bay. They were the first people to comment on my last video. Thank you so much for the support, babes. I love you. And now, without any further delay, let's continue the story. I jumped out of bed and ran out of my room. I ran straight to my landlord's house in the same compound, knocking on his door like a mad woman. He came out, looking sleepy and confused. I was crying, telling him there was someone in my room. We went back together, but when we entered, there was nobody. The room was empty. He said I was probably having a bad dream, but I knew what I saw. I called my boyfriend and begged him to come. He came quickly and stayed with me until morning. I felt a little safe with him there. But after he left for work the next day, things got much worse. After that first night, my life became a nightmare. My beautiful new apartment was no longer peaceful. I would hear footsteps walking up and down in my living room when I knew I was alone. At night, I would hear whispers near my ear. I could not hear the words, but the sound was clear. Small objects like my spoon or my phone would disappear, and then I would find them in a place I had already checked, like inside the refrigerator. I would smell a strange scent of perfume in the air. It was a smell I did not own. The lights would flicker on and off for no reason. Sometimes they would turn on by themselves in the middle of the night. The worst was the feeling. I always felt like someone was standing right behind me. I felt a cold touch on my skin. Goosebumps. I always felt like I was being watched. I was living in constant fear. I couldn't sleep. I was always anxious. I told my landlord again, but he said, Miss, this is a new building. Everything inside is new. No one has ever complained. No one has died here. But I knew something was very wrong with my apartment. The fear and lack of sleep started to affect my body. One morning, a few weeks after the problem started, I woke up and I could not get out of bed. I felt completely drained, as if all my energy was gone. I was sweating, but my body was cold. I felt like someone was in the room watching me, sucking the life out of me. I tried to eat, but I vomited everything. I was so weak. I managed to call Kay and he drove me to the hospital. The doctors ran tests, but they could not find anything specific. They said I was stressed and anemic. They gave me some drugs and an injection, but the drugs did not work. I could not keep any food down. I had to ask for leave from my job because I was so sick. I didn't want to tell my mother because I didn't want to worry her. But one day, I was lying in bed, crying from fear and weakness, and I called her. Mommy, I cried into the phone. I am sick and I am scared. As soon as my mother heard my voice, she came to my apartment. When she saw me, she gasped. I had become so thin and pale. She immediately moved in to take care of me. I told her about the strange things that had been happening. At first, she thought the sickness was making me see things. She said it was all in my head. But then, she started to experience them too. One evening, she was in the kitchen and she felt someone watching her. She turned around, but no one was there. The lights in the sitting room started flickering. Then the wardrobe door in my bedroom slowly creaked open on its own. My mother is a strong, no-nonsense woman, but that night, her face was full of fear. She said, this apartment is cursed. The next morning, she packed my things and took me to her house. For the first 2 days at her house, I felt a little better. I was able to eat a little. I thought we had escaped, but we were wrong. The sickness came back stronger. I started vomiting again and became even weaker. Then the strange things started happening at my mother's house too. The lights began to flicker. At night, I felt someone in the room with me, staring at me from the darkness. I was getting worse every day. I could not move from the bed. I was admitted to the hospital with a drip in my arm because I could not eat or drink. I was just skin and bones. My father had been calling to check on me, but I never told him the details. I just said I was not feeling well. One afternoon, he came to the hospital to visit me. When he saw me lying on the bed, so thin and weak, a smile disappeared. My mother was in the room, crying by my bedside. That day, I told him everything, how I felt like I was dying. I told him about all the strange things happening to me. My father's face changed completely. He looked horrified. His eyes moved from my face to the gold necklace that was still on my neck. His mouth dropped open. I saw the look on his face. He knew something. Dad, I said, why are you looking at the necklace? He started stammering, clearly hiding something. My mother stood up. Answer her, she shouted at my father. What have you done now? My father continued stammering. His body began to shake. Then he broke down and started crying like a child. He fell to his knees beside my hospital bed. I am sorry. I am sorry, he cried. The necklace, it was not for you. What do you mean? I asked, my heart pounding. He finally told us the terrible truth. It was for a dead woman, he sobbed. What? My mother and I were shocked into silence. He explained that his friend told him about a secret burial place for a local royalty family. They went there in the middle of the night to rob the grave. The gold chain was taken directly from the neck of a dead woman who was buried there. When I heard this, a scream tore out of my throat. Hey! I screamed so loud that a nurse ran into the room. How could my own father do this? How could he put a thing from a corpse on my neck? I was shouting and crying. Mommy, take it off. Get it off me. My mother's hands were shaking as she removed the necklace from my neck. She threw it on the floor like it was a poisonous snake. She turned to my father and started cursing him. You good-for-nothing man, a troublemaker. How can you give your own daughter jewelry from a corpse? You want to kill her. We all thought that once the necklace was off, the problems would stop. But they did not. I even got worse. The doctors were confused. I could not speak anymore. I was just lying there, fading away. My mother, seeing that I was dying, went to a pastor and told him the whole story. The pastor listened carefully, and then he gave us the solution. He said the necklace had to be returned to exactly where it was taken from. We had to go to the grave and apologize to the dead woman. He also said we needed to find her family and involve them because they were the ones the ghost would listen to the most. My father, full of fear and regret, took us and the pastor to the grave. From there, we were able to trace the family of the dead woman. When we met her family and told them what my father had done, they were very, very angry. They shouted at him. They called the police immediately. And my father was arrested for grave robbing right in front of us. We tried to beg them, but they said they would not forgive him until he was behind bars for desecrating their sister's grave. When they saw me lying in the car so thin and sick, they felt sorry for me. My mother explained all my symptoms to them. The dead woman's sister listened and her face became sad. She said, that is the exact same sickness our sister suffered from before he died. They then told us the story of the necklace. The woman's son had traveled to the US to study. When he came back to Ghana, he used his first salary to buy the gold chain for his mother. But 1 week after he returned, he was hit by a car and died. Oh, the woman was so heartbroken. She never took the necklace off after that She always said she wanted to be buried with it, to be close to her son. Our pastor said a prayer, but he also said we needed a traditionalist to pour libation and talk to the spirit in the way she would understand. So we did everything. The family, my mother, the pastor, and the traditionalist all went to the grave. It was a long process. The woman's sister gently placed the necklace back around the dead woman's neck. We all apologized deeply. For the first few weeks after returning the necklace, nothing changed. I was still weak. But then, slowly, I began to feel a little stronger. The feeling of being watched started to fade. The weakness left my body day by day. I started to eat normally. After 1 month, I was able to walk again. My life slowly returned to normal. Right now, I am completely healed. But let me tell you, I don't wear any jewelry at all. Not even a simple earring. If you even force me, I will not wear it. What I went through, never again. Ghosts are real, though. They exist. So please, be careful about the gifts you receive. Know the source. My father is still in prison. He brought it upon himself. I have never gone to see him. He has called me many times, asking me to visit. His mother has also called me, begging me to forgive him and go and see him. But I don't want to. What he did was unforgivable. He almost killed me because of his greed. So I want to ask you, my people, am I wrong for not wanting him in my life anymore? What if I had died? Would you have forgiven this? Hey, I don't know if you can see the goosebumps on my body. Babe, you are not wrong for not wanting to forgive him because what he did, it is not a simple mistake. Oh. That necklace he gave you nearly cost you your life. Forgiveness is a process for your own peace, but it does not mean you must allow him back into your life. You have a right to protect your peace and safety. For now, focus on your healing and the people who have always been there for you, like your mother and your boyfriend. You owe him nothing. I'm wishing you all the best and take care of yourself. If you have any thoughts about this story, leave them down below. What do you think? Should she forgive him for what he did? Let me hear your thoughts down below. And now, you know that this is a judgment-free zone. We listen, we don't judge. So please be kind to her in the comment section. And if you've not subscribed yet, come and join the family, babe. Please subscribe and like this video. And don't forget to turn on the notifications so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Okay, I'm done. Bye.